Hi everyone, and welcome to the All Things ITSM Global Podcast. We're coming to you from ITSM 15 in London. I'm Kirsty McGowan. I'm here with Pat Bolger.
Hi.
Simone Moore.
Hi.
And we're meeting with Neil Keating from Brighthorse.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Neil.
Nice to meet you too.
So, Neil, tell us a little bit about how you're seeing things happening in the industry and breaking out of the IT mould.
So it's interesting. So I think we were speaking earlier, and I think that the IT now have an opportunity to get straight out of the IT department and into the business. I mean, I look around the shows and go to the conferences, and there seems to be still lots of solutions waiting for a problem. But there's still lots of problems out there in business that people can attack. And I think where we see IT service management is not just in the IT department. We see it as service management. Mm-hmm. And service management means HR, legal, finance. Any service department in an organisation could use some of the technologies and some of the processes that I think IT departments have been doing for the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, as long as they steer clear of configuration management.
No, we don't want to give them that. That's too scary.
We'll keep that resolved.
But you say something, but that's quite interesting though, because it's the language thing, and that's what I do see quite a lot. So a lot of IT people talk an IT language. And that's the problem, for them going out to the business. And if you think what IT people have done over the last 10, 15 years, they've worked on processes and they've worked hard to try and understand a process. And at the end of the day, a process in IT is very similar to a process in any other part of the business. There's an input and an output, and there's a process. But they have to get the language right. Yeah. And so if they go out to the business, start talking about configuration management and things like that, that's going to dull everybody. Everyone's going to be bored to tears with that. But they need to go out there and talk a language that an HR person does. So it's not an incident, it's a case. It's not it's a call. It's something different with different departments. And I think that's a real barrier. And that's where I think CIOs need to work.
Yeah, well, so what's happened with our service delivery managers and our liaisons between IT and the business for that kind of thing? I mean, I come from a HR background, so I'm just sort of going, well, where is this person, this mysterious, that's going to help me bridge that gap?
Yeah, well, I think I totally agree with that, and I think that has been the problem. I think IT generally have been great, but in their own room, in their own domain, and I think there are some forward thinking. I'm seeing in the last couple of years, lots of our customers now putting those people in place and having a liaison officer for the business and for different departments, and even having IT project managers for their departments that are sitting in finance or sitting in HR and trying to simulate their work and their processes.
So they're actually absorbing that environment, the business environment that they're in, and getting to understand it just osmosis, or are they really getting into?
I think if you go back 2 years, I think there were people just put in place saying, you look after this department and you look after that department, and bring back any technical requirements and we'll try and work on it. I think what's happening now is that people are now trying to get it a lot more, and really trying to assimilate that business and really trying to understand the language, the culture and their needs. And then a CIO can think, okay, how can I help automate a process? How can I help speed up your service delivery? So I think, as I said, I think IT service management, I think the IT in service management has to be pared down a bit, and it should be customer service management, service management. I think that's what it should be.
Yeah. And if we don't start speaking that common language with the business units who do want to use the same sorts of processes, they're actually going to go elsewhere, and they're going to purchase their services from outside.
Yeah.
Because if you're not prepared to actually get involved and understand what they need, then why are they going to bother talking to you?
That's absolutely right. And I think you say your background there at HR, if the CIOs and the IT directors, the IT managers aren't really trying to support those businesses and aren't talking to them, they will. They're just, most people have got an intelligent customer now. People Google everything, and they're all out on the internet and can search things themselves and go and find it. So it's kind of up to the IT departments to really break out and go and speak to them properly, and a proper in-depth conversation.
I mean, we call shadow IT a big problem, but shadow IT is only there because IT hasn't done their job.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I think the other thing is accessibility now. So before, you couldn't really source your own solutions. You had to buy stuff and integrate it with things. Yeah. But now, with the barriers to kind of acquiring and deploying technology just basically falling through the floor, you can go out as a business unit and have stuff up and running and integrated without IT
Yes.
even
And
on
really,
it's
quite
there.
frankly,
You really
myself
can.
as the customer, why can't I choose the way I want to work?
Yeah.
Well, I think lots of people coming into the business now want to work the way they work in their private lives, don't they?
Yes.
So they just want, you know,
Yeah.
it's 24/7. I want something, and I want it now, and I want it. You know, if you haven't got it, well, probably.
And you
there's-
want
No,
it
I'd
to-
rather
yeah.
not the 24/7.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I mean,
But there's an app for that.
Yeah.
I'll just go and download
Yeah.
an app,
Yeah.
and so that's where.
And you expect it to just work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you
Well,
download the app, it works. And you never think about it again.
And people don't understand that in business, and that's
No.
what people now want. And that's where
Yeah.
I think, again, CIOs
Yeah.
just need to get out there and say, we'll build that, we'll do that.
I'm just kind of curious about your company's name, Bright Horse. Where did it come from? I've just had this, medieval imaginary things of horses running over fields or something.
I could tell you a really, really
This
good
is
story, but I'll probably bore you to tears. But the, I come up with a much better story than this. But I should talk about galloping away with great service management and all those kind of things. We're out the stables. Actually, when the company name was decided, and the truth is, the company name was decided, there was a picture of a horse on the wall. And we all said, what should we call this? And someone went, what about a Bright Horse? And we went, done, move on. Right, what's next?
That's that one off the table.
Who's
Yeah.
the first director? That's it, move on. Now
I
what
like
do we do?
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish it was more interesting, I'm afraid.
Oh, no,
That's it, yeah.
I just want to pick your brains for a minute about kind of when you're deploying outside of IT, because I've had experience with this with some of our customers. I remember one of our customers coming to us, the IT department, and they had put together or helped put together a system for their facilities team.
Right.
And the IT manager came back to me and said, you know what? He said, after we deployed that for them, he said, I was hugely embarrassed by the deployment we've done for ourselves, because our HR team, facilities team, are doing way more with the same solution that we designed for them than we're doing ourselves, and actually forced himself to go back and look at their requirements as a result of deploying it for their HR team.
Kind of like doctors not taking
Yeah,
their own medicine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
Yeah.
Do you find...
Yeah, we do actually. We find that a lot, and I think there is a difference between some of the departments. So when you go to an HR department or you go to a finance department, I tend to find they understand their processes a lot more, and I think that's the root of everything. Is you've got to, before you go into any platform or any tool, you really must sit there and think, what is the process I'm doing?
Yes.
And within HR, they know their recruitment process, they know their disciplinary processes. They have to know them very well because there's lots of legal obligations around that. And when they know their processes, you can then work with them and say, what can I automate? What can I do better for you in this area? How do you want that to work? Because I think the problem is, and we've probably all heard the phrase before, a fool with a tool is at the end of the day still a fool.
Yeah.
It's just,
Exactly.
all you're doing through automation or putting in a platform, if you don't understand the first place of what your business does or your department does, you're just getting to a bad result faster than you would normally. So automation can really help, but not if you've got a bad process. You just got to understand.
Or you
the
just do
process.
the wrong thing faster.
Exactly. Yeah. You get that result quicker. And that's a bad result. You don't want that.
Yes.
So.
And what do you think? Do you think in IT is we'll say misunderstanding of things like the ITIL framework? We're just going to get into some standard processes and make that work for us. Is that probably why we haven't advanced? Whereas in HR they don't have an equivalent that here's a best practice that's going to sort us out.
I would have thought, and there are certain companies. So a lot of our customers, the ones who've done this well, have taken the concepts of something like ITIL and really understood that very well and really honed their processes, and then become more of a business analyst than a technical analyst. If you speak to any IT department and you ask them their roles, they'd still say I'm an IT support person, I'm a technical analyst.
Yeah.
Some of the real departments that have taken the concepts a lot further than others have become business analysts, where they're really talking about the process, and then they have the ability to go into any department and say, okay, what is your process? Let's understand that. Let me write that down if it's not already written down. Is that how you want to work? That sounds sensible to me. Now I can think about an app, a piece of technology that will help automate and speed that up for you.
Right.
I think that's the benefit. I think that's what they've got to do.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think IT is still that one place where if you ask someone who works in IT where they work, they'll say they work in IT.
Yeah.
If you ask someone who works in reception where they work, they're going to say they work for a doctor's surgery, they work in banking, or
company
they.
themselves.
Or the name
Yeah.
of the company.
Yeah, they don't say I work in IT.
Yeah.
Whereas, when you work in IT, you're working in banking, or you're working in education, or you're working in health. It's a strange industry at times.
That sense of belonging hasn't seemed
Yeah.
to quite been there. They haven't, bought into the value system maybe of the company itself.
I think they
not
are
feeling a part of it.
You're absolutely right. They're much more inwardly focused. You know, it's
well, the whole concept really of IT as a service provider, it allows you to kind of focus within your own kind of walls. We're providing a service, and rather than focus on the outcome, focus on the value that you
I
need
think
to
sometimes
deliver.
the frameworks have actually done us a disservice in sometimes seeing the internal customer as, you know, they're a customer as if it's a pay user thing.
Yeah.
But it does work if you're doing the more strategic processes.
Yes.
So if you have got service strategy and service design actually set up, the problem is that people adopting it that haven't got the more strategic process in place, then just look at it from their own perspective.
Yes.
So and without that link, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's that
we certainly see
focus.
Sorry.
There's just that inward focus that we tend to have at times.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because we've certainly seen even internal IT departments over the last couple of years actually put themselves more of a service provider, shared service, almost like a managed service type of company would, even they're only supporting one customer.
Their own customer.
You know, the concept of a customer is alien to some IT departments. Well, they're a user of IT. Well, no, they're not. They're your customer.
Yeah.
You know, and if they were paying for this service, which effectively they are, you better make sure that you're delivering a great service, because that's the service they, deliver the service they want.
And everybody's got choices now.
And that's
And from a HR perspective, one of the things I like to tell them is saying, well, look, have you got the same logo on your payslip? If it's the same logo on your payslip as the people that you're supporting, it's your company too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'd like to see, I really would like to see sort of lots of the IT people really going out into HR, really trying to understand their process. Because if you think through some of the other service providers, some of the internal service providers, like a legal, like a contracts department, people are asking the same questions. You might be asking IT for a laptop. I might be asking HR to recruit someone. I might be asking legal for the latest terms and conditions because I'm about to sign a customer up. And the processes for each one of those are all very different. And if there was one way you could just say, right, we'll put it all onto the same system, a portal, and then we'll drive you through that. If that's the question you're asking, because beneath that there's a service catalogue that is well understood by everybody, we'll drive your process that way. And the customer service would be a whole lot better. And then you can start thinking about how you automate it and get it faster.
Lots of food for thought there. So thank you very much for coming and sitting down and having a chat with us
No
today.
problem.
Very enjoyable.
Right.
All right, thank you.